They came for a blood test, right? They took his blood. He realized, or apparently, I don't know how it went down, but he realized that he was obviously over the limit of whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
Right? He got his brother, smash the vials of blood with a hammer, smash it, no. And then say, listen to the best excuse of all time. Say that he...
Is that loud enough?
Do one below.
Good, sweet. Welcome back to Storytime, everyone. Partnered with Fetsack. We are here in the showroom with Chad Clos. So excited to announce it, Bru. Thank you so much for coming in today. We've been trying to set this up for a while.
It's been a while.
It's a pleasure to have you here, dude. Thank you for
brother.
coming and thank you for your time.
Big pleasure, thank you.
Chad's on a busy schedule, so we're going to get an hour in of great chat. I've wanted to just chat to him about his career, the Olympics, who he is, how he manages all of this, and what's up and next, what's coming out of 2 years of COVID. Obviously, everyone took a bit of a knock for that. We were saying earlier that it's been quite crazy. We were saying that people in Cape Town can't drive, and that he's got a great dinner after this, so we're not going to take any more time on that. But what I did want to do was read through some of your acclaims, like your victories in life that I wanted to go through. So victory number one, you were born in Durban.
There we go.
Good people come from Durban. In 1992, one of 4 children. Dude, you at the age of 18 already held 2 senior South African records. In 2012, beat Michael Phelps in the 200-meter butterfly. FINA World Cup Series, you became the first ever swimmer to be crowned the overall winner 3 times. You are currently, I think still right now, South Africa's most medaled Olympian.
That's it, yeah.
Ever.
Ever.
That's pretty sick.
Hopefully
dude.
forever.
Hopefully forever, and they will keep coming.
There we go.
In 2016, you became the most decorated Olympian. In 2017, you changed coaches, which we spoke about, the different team you were in, the reasons for that. In 2018, you became the most successful Commonwealth swimmer of all time, also named South African Sportsman of the Year and FINA Male Swimmer of the Year for a 2nd time.
That sounds cool. Sounds better when you say it. Eh?
It sounds really cool. I was saying to them earlier when I was sitting down looking through all these acclaims, it's the strangest feeling because do you remember we did a modeling gig together?
Yes.
For Omega Watches.
That was January of 16.
I think so.
End of January of 16, or February of 16.
February of 2016.
In Bellville.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes,
I remember.
dude, that's so impressive.
I remember. I think it was the first of the Feb or the end of Jan.
Somewhere there, but it was you, myself, and 2 others. And
Mias was there, right?
Mias and I think one of the Plett brothers.
Yes.
And we all had to
that
do
was
the generic all line up on the at the edge. Everyone does the dive. They got the underwater filming, and the plan. And I didn't tell you this on the day. I wanted to keep this on the show. The plan was that you, obviously, being the most decorated Olympian in South Africa, we're going to dive in. And the underwater shot was going to be you ahead of the 3 people next to you.
And you smashed me.
No, not a chance. But I did try. So the 3 of us, without you knowing, had gone aside and been like, hey, at least for 1 take, just dive in and give it horns and see if you can get a little bit of footage of you ahead of Chad Clos. And I can recall all of us standing, getting ready to do it. And diving and just giving it horns.
It's the first take, I think. First or second take.
I think so. And then looking over and seeing you look and see us slightly ahead, disappear underwater, and then just pop up over here. It was just you teleported through the water, which was insane. So,
I remember. I think it was a second take. You know, it's weird. It's actually more up your alley what we did that day. I'm out of my element there. I'll be honest. I'm shooting for those type of stuff.
With the modeling and that.
It's like when I get there, it's like I mean I'm comfortable talking, but when you ask me to do some stuff, it's like.
You don't think you're gonna do more of it?
No. Listen, it's part of the package. I definitely enjoy that element of it, but it's like I'm definitely it took me a while to warm up to it. Especially early days. Back then I was still relatively green to it, but it was still
Well, you had beat Michael Phelps. So that was a huge kind of push forward in your career and in your status as a swimmer.
Yeah.
So what I really want to break down first before we go into all the other claims after is Chad before and after that victory. So was that your first Olympics that you were then? First Olympics. So
First
your
Olympics.
First Olympics you beat Michael Phelps.
Yes.
What was your personality, your schedule, your mindset going into the Olympics, then coming out of it having beat Michael Phelps?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because before Olympics in 2012, right, I was 19 years old. I was, again, very green in life. You know, all I knew what I wanted to do was I wanted to be a champion. I wanted to be world champion. As a kid, that's all I ever really wanted, you know? So I was just a hungry, crazy, determined boy that was not going to be stopped by anybody. Didn't think I was going to win the Olympics, if I'm being perfectly honest. I thought it was going to be the next Olympics because I thought I was just a little bit too young. But I knew I was right there. And then 6 weeks out, we did this crazy training camp, and I did something ridiculous in training, and I knew right away, like, I'm in the shape of my life, right?
Really?
I knew that, and I knew that it was going to be very close. And no one knew that besides me and my coach. Even my mom was saying, like, oh, we'll be so happy if she gets a medal. And I'm like, Mom,
I'm gunning.
Just stop it. Like,
Yeah,
we're going to win this race. You know what I'm saying? And she's
You're going to see me win.
I mean, I would never say that to anybody, but like, I knew, like, my dad knew, my coach knew, and I knew. And maybe my training partners slightly, you know, but anyway, so go to Olympics. Obviously, I beat my hero, Michael Phelps. It was, you know, the greatest moment of my life, still to this day. Didn't change as a person after Olympics, but a lot of things did change. Obviously, I got a lot of fame. I got a lot of different things, getting pulled in different directions, you know, sponsorships and all that stuff, and it was great. It took a sting away from the killer that was young Chad Leclerc, let's call it, right? So not to say I wasn't a different person. If you talk about the athlete Chad Leclerc, I was just... It's a saying that doesn't make too much sense, but like, you know, when you wake up in the silk sheets, it's hard to get out of bed at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that exactly, because I wasn't like this millionaire kid overnight, but it was like, because I had a lot of different things that I was doing, I forgot what it got me to the dance in the first place. For like a year and a half, 2 years, I lost myself a little bit. Didn't do anything crazy, but I was struggling with motivation.
Yeah.
I call it that post-Olympic depression, that post-Olympic dip that you have, which is natural, you know? But I was so conditioned as a kid that it carried me through those 2-3 years. You know, I was still world champion in 2013. I still, got 7 medals at the Commonwealth 2014. So I was still performing at such a high level, but I was still, I was missing a piece.
Did you, on missing a piece, did you ever have the feeling of like, what they call like imposter syndrome, of like, I shouldn't be, although knowing you deserve to be, you know what I'm saying? There's like that weird conundrum.
I know what you're saying. I said to my training partner, we spoke about it earlier actually, the guy, the wedding that we were supposed to go.
The wedding is
Yeah. So we were roommates, you know, for a long time, and I had I remember 2014, I had a horrible season. I got really sick, and I trained at the altitude, and I had like this, I don't know how you describe it, but the doctor said, you can only train 60% for the next month and a half. This was just before Commonwealth Games, because I was sick and I went into altitude and I have really bad asthma, so it was like, I couldn't use my lungs properly, so I didn't want to obviously hurt myself. So he's like, listen, you're just going to swim like 3-4 Ks a day and just not going to train, right? You're just going to accept that you're going to swim bad in 7 weeks' time. Anyway, I go to the Commonwealth, I smashed, I get 7 medals.
But this was after being told you got asthma and constant
exactly. But the lesson of the story was, and I explained this to my friend who was smashing me in training.
Yeah.
I said, you have to it's mindset, right? I just believed that I was better than these guys, even though I wasn't conditioned enough, and they didn't know that I wasn't conditioned enough. So I played the game, right? So I walked in like I was the man. I was the man. Yeah. But like, shit, out of my control. I didn't put in the work. You know, because I couldn't. Yeah. And he was stunned after this, and I just said, mate, you got to almost trick yourself into believing that you're actually good enough. You know. So that was my mindset. You know, from 12 to 16. 2012 to 2016.
I'm the best regardless.
I'm the best regardless. I'm the man. You know. Yeah. I'm gonna be the best that I can be. You know, not in an arrogant way. That was my mindset. I never spoke about that. But like, you know, when I went to competition,
But every individual sport's like that. Ask any fighter, any swimmer, any cyclist. You know that. What's the point of me stepping out into the competitive world if I genuinely don't think I'm going to win? Yeah. What's the point of me?
Yeah, of course.
So to give us like some common point of interest in that, I swam my nationals when I was about 16. Nowhere near at your level, but to kind of get into the headspace you were in. Swam my nationals when I was 16. And it was the first time from swimming from 8-9 years old to 16, was the first time I ever didn't come first. Sure. Placed third and lost my shit. Couldn't handle the fact that I didn't win. Yeah. It was mind-blowing to me. And got offered a scholarship for the Olympics, to come swim for the Olympics. and I couldn't fathom why you would ask me to do it if I wasn't the best.
Sure.
It just didn't make sense. Like, I'm not number one. Take
Sure.
that guy. You know, he's clearly doing better.
Sure.
And the attitude that I had, like my family will say, like I had a houding, like I had a, like, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
at 16, looking back, I'm like, damn, I should have appreciated the moment so much more.
Yeah.
And potentially not have turned it down.
Hindsight, though, you know.
Hindsight. So we interrupt this episode to thank our partners, FetSack. FetSack wake up every morning with one goal: to make the world a more comfortable place. Our ultimate goal is to make one-of-a-kind, quality, practical furniture that brings a little extra comfort and ease into your life. So if you're tired of sitting on a shitty couch that's rock hard and you just can't get oozy and comfortable into, come to FetSack, use the discount code below and make your purchase. Thank you, FetSack. Now back to the episode.
No, you know what it was? I mean, look, I can understand that. You know, it's a lot of times in life, I believe, that you are not at the emotional maturity level that you want to be at. You know, look back in hindsight and you say, oh, I wish I could have done that differently. I wasn't necessarily there. The thing is, when I was a kid, I didn't win everything. I knew. My dad always taught me, like, it's important to lose, you know, because you know what it's like to lose. You know what it's like to come back stronger. Life is actually about losing. It's actually not about winning. You know what I'm saying? You lose everything in your life. You know, you lose your parents, you lose your hair, you lose your money, you lose your girlfriend, you lose whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Life's about losing, and you lose so much in life before you win, you know. So I learned that. I was very lucky to learn that from a very young age, you know. And I don't know, there were a lot of instances when I was a kid, you know, like my dad, he always taught me from a young age, and you never make excuses, son. Doesn't matter what happens, even if you were sick, even if you were injured, even if you were underprepared.
Yeah.
You don't talk about it afterwards. Win, lose, or draw. You don't disrespect your opponents like that when you win.
Cool.
So, for example, I remember I was a kid, I was 10 years old, and I remember this boy, David Lindeque. Never forget. I dived off the block, and as swimmers, you can remember, people always say, oh, the bad start, a bad turn.
Yes.
It's bullshit. Excuse my language.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I like this take.
So
I like this take.
So I lost the race, and the guy said, oh, I was a race. Oh, I had a bad start. And I go to my dad, I tell him about that everything. I'm like, oh, Dad, you know, I told David I had a bad start. He slapped me across the head, right? And he said, you go and apologize to his parents, and you go tell him the truth. I never want to see you do that again. And I learned a very valuable lesson that day. We don't make excuses. Even though I did slip on the start, because I did slip on the start, but no one cares.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Even if you come fifth, even if you never win a game, you don't make excuses. There's no honor in that, you know.
Yeah.
You just look like an idiot at the end of the day. You come out and you say, you look at these champions. A lot of these guys, all of them. I mean, I don't want to mention names and get myself in trouble here, but all these champions, Americans and Australian stuff, they get up and they break world records. You know, you probably know who I'm talking about, but break world records, and they talk about how bad their start was, how bad their turn was.
Yes.
I'm looking at these guys, I'm thinking, bro, you just broke the world record. And you telling me how bad your start was, how bad your turn was. How disrespectful is that to everyone else?
That everyone that was trying to beat you, that
you know what I'm trying to say?
Couldn't keep up.
You get
Yeah,
punished
I
one day for
understand,
that.
yeah.
Don't worry, you get punished. For
Yeah.
that. But so that's what I had from a young age. I was lucky enough to have that. I don't know what you call it, mindset. Let's call it. You know, so I was very lucky.
But Uncle Bert,
Yes.
I like to call him, became one of the most famous dads in the world, which is like, I get emotional thinking of the scene of like the pride and the love that he showed in that moment. And whoever was in charge of those cameras on that day nailed it. That it was like this huge moment of his kid winning, bang, straight to Uncle Bert, and he's just, you know, feeling everything in it. The conversation point after that win must have been incredible, but it must have been so satisfying for him, because this mindset you speak of was largely because of what he imparted into you in terms of, you know, the head over the head, go apologize to your opponent.
Absolutely.
Like, that's literally the groundwork for a champion, to have that head, you know,
Absolutely.
of apologize if excuses ever become a part of this play.
100%.
Yeah.
My dad, look, I say this, it's a cliche, but I honestly believe, let's say from a sporting point of view, I wouldn't be half the acting I am without my dad. Right? I've had great coaches that I've swum with, but my dad has helped me more than them. Honestly, and I'm not saying this to have a dig at anyone, I'm just telling you the truth. My dad would come to this podcast and he'd sit in the corner and he'd listen. Even I'm not talking,
cool.
so he'll listen to whoever's come on before, any athlete, anything, actor, whatever. He'll learn something from you.
Yeah.
He'll learn from a mistake that you've made. My dad said, people don't believe it, but like, you can ask the guys that he played cards with, and he had casinos back in the day. It was
Sick.
naughty boy back in the day.
Yeah, there we go.
Still a little bit naughty.
Yeah.
You can ask those guys. I've seen them today, and they come to me and they say, "Your dad, they told me my son is going to be world champion one day." He didn't know what sport it was going to be, and the reason he said that was because all I'm going to do is I'm going to tell my son to do everything that I did, but the opposite.
Yeah.
because he was exactly
That's so clever.
So because, and also, you know, he goes to like I remember he went to one of the champions back in the day who swam with Graham, who was my coach for 17 years. He went to his parents and he said, please, madam, I'm coming to you hat in hand. I just want to learn. I'm not trying to open up a wound or anything, but what happened to your boy? He was a champion, 14, 15, 16, 17. He went to America and he never, nothing happened after that. You know, what happened to your boy? My boy's 13, 14 years old. Listen, he's a little pipsqueak, but we just want to learn from you. I hope you don't think I'm being offensive here.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, you know, what's your name? Bert, you know, whatever. Sat with him for half an hour, had a coffee, and said, look, you know, he made a mistake, went to America, you know, girls got hold of him, whatever it was, you know.
Whatever.
You know, the drinking, whatever it was at the time, but he learned from that.
Yeah.
You know, so he steered me in the direction that he did that. He was never arrogant enough, as much as people think, oh, he's this arrogant big man, you know, boisterous person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is that personality, but he has a beautiful saying where he says, you know, to a young man or young lady, he says, you can teach me something about grandparenting, and I can teach you something about acting.
That's sick.
Do you understand? Because you're not too old or too young to learn something from someone. And that's the problem today in society, I believe, you know, especially in my sport.
People aren't
in swimming, you know what I'm trying to say? Everyone thinks they got the crystal ball. They know everything, right? Even these coaches of today, especially coaches in South Africa, I think they know everything. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everyone makes mistakes. You and I both make mistakes. In your craft, in my craft, I make mistakes all
My
the
whole
time.
craft runs on mistakes. They put you in front of the camera, they're like, go, no. Hey, there we go. That was a moment, and that's the one. And then you stick to it.
The one that you beat me in the second take.
Yeah. I wish they used that one. Yeah.
No, anyway, that's it, you know. So I owe a lot to my father, you know, in life and everything.
Cool,
he really, you know, I owe a lot to him.
After, I keep referring to the beating Michael Phelps because it's the most satisfying thing to say as a South African, number one. But also two, I feel like from there, a lot of things changed for you publicly. What has it been like traveling and seeing the world, but having to do it to such a strict regime at the same time? So like, we want to go overseas, we can go and party and drink and jaw and work and like, you know, you obviously sticking to a schedule each day. You've got a team to, you know, account for. You've got a coach to account for. What is that lifestyle like? Because like you were saying to me earlier, you've got America, then a week later Canada, then a week later Germany. Then what's that like? It's
not as glamorous as people think. I get told that all the time at the pool. They're like, oh, you're so lucky. I'm absolutely blessed. But I think I wish I could have been prepared better for what came. You know, because after 2012, I was the happiest person in the world from, let's say, August 2012, let's say January, February of 2013. And then I was very unhappy for a long time.
Why? Because you had to live up to that? Or because...
No, because I wasn't prepared for what happened, but it wasn't, don't get me wrong, I love, even today I was at the pool, I was at the Point Gym, and a lot of kids came to take some pictures. You know, I haven't been in the gym a long time, and some parents came, and I raced the kid. I did a little butterfly with the kid.
Sick, man.
I was going to put it on Facebook later. So I was like, you know, I love all that. I really do love all that. I think that's great. Yeah. But, you know, when you have a lot of pressures, a lot of expectations, you have to carry the hopes of the nation on your shoulders. You've had injuries. You haven't had the best preparation. You have to perform. You know what I'm trying to say? You have everything teed up for this moment, and it's, you know, it's over in a minute. Your life changes in a minute. So you're in the block, right? Swimming 100 flat, right? 49 seconds, 50 seconds, whatever it is. And a minute before they even blow the whistle to get on the block, in a minute and 10 seconds time, your life is you're either a hero of heroes, and you get everything. You get the sponsors, you get the whatever,
money,
the girls,
travel,
the monies, everything.
Yeah.
Or it's the opposite, right? You're a failure. You lose everything, right?
Yeah.
So that crazy moment of I'm world champion, Olympic champion, or Commonwealth champion, it's all a matter of split seconds that all happens in. You know what I'm trying to say? So
well, dude, completely, because I can relate it to what happened after the first Kissing Booth, where it was we filmed Kissing Booth and everything blew up, and it was imposter syndrome severely badly for about a year, and just I was experiencing such a high level of gratitude, but at the same time such a high level of like, do I deserve to do this? Did I study enough? Did I learn enough? Am I good enough? This whole game you play. Am I happy?
Am I happy?
Was I happy before, and did I carry that through? And then the worst comments to read were people from your own country, from your own culture, going, "You're a once-off, dude. It happened once.
Trust me, I know about that.
You're done and dead. It's never gonna. You know, that's the hardest to read. Not because the words hurt me, but because the people that it's coming from are the people that I'm surrounded by every day, you know, that
Your
like,
people.
I like to turn back to and thank, you know, and it's now created such an opposing feeling to what should be so incredible.
People don't see that part.
Yeah.
They just see the happiness, kissing booth,
Yeah.
fame, travel. They don't see that part. No, it's exactly that, man. Yeah, trust me, I know, man. It's crazy. You know, you're a hero for a couple months or whatever, and then one hit wonder. No, trust me, I get told that all the time. You know?
Yeah.
People say to me, I got told by, and again, sometimes people aren't trying to be like that, but like I remember after 2016, I got 2 silvers, right? So one of them should be a gold because the guy got testosterone. He was a cheat.
Really?
Yeah, he was a cheat. I mean, we knew he
was
failed
boosted.
He failed the test in 2014, but you know, China are $100 million deep, and you know, let's just leave it as that, you know. And people are corrupt, and everyone knew that. But anyway, even when I won, the write-up in the swimming communities was Chad won gold in 2016 because the guy that beat me is a cheat. You know, he's got a 10-year ban now for smashing vials. Sun Yang.
So basically,
they came for a blood test, right? They took his blood. He realized, or apparently, I don't know how it went down, but he realized that he was obviously over the limit of whatever he was doing. Yeah. Right? He got his brother to smash the vials of blood, take the officer, so the guy that came to take the blood. Hey, I'm Chadwick, I'm here to take your blood. Take your blood. Oh, no, I can't do this. Smash the vials of blood with a hammer. Smash it. No. And then listen to this. Listen to the best excuse of all time. Say that he... No, he didn't have the correct documentation, so he couldn't take my blood. So hang on, let's just stop for a second. So if you're an innocent man, you come to my house, you say, I'm Joe Dirt. Yeah. But take my blood. As long as you don't hurt me and inject anything into me, take my blood, I don't care. Yeah. Do with my blood whatever you want. If I'm an innocent man, you can touch my blood, do with it, drink my blood, what do you want to do with it? It's not going to bother me, right? Yeah. Take 2 vials anyway, it's not like they're taking, 3 liters. But you smash it after you've already done the test.
No ways.
You know what I mean? And then anyway, so he got a 10-year ban for that. But unfortunately, they're not giving me the medal back because they're saying he never tested positive during the Olympics. But we all know that he's a cheat. But
oh my word! Okay.
Anyway, but sorry, going off topic here. So I go to the club. I remember I'm Tiger of Durban, right? Used to go there all the time.
I remember that place.
A bit of a
yes. Wasn't there a Tiger, and then another one?
Claremont also in Cape Town.
Yes, but
there
was like a dungeony place below Tiger.
There was that. That was the after party.
Jeez, I remember that spot, bro.
I remember, but I don't remember.
Yeah, exactly. I remember arriving. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So anyway, we're there with the boys, having a good time. I just never forget this moment. There was this girl that was coming out to me, and she was like, I could just see she was being a dickhead. She was like, "You're that swimmer dude, aren't you?" And I'm like, she's like, "You're that swimmer dude that lost the Olympics, right?" Not got 2 silvers, right? Jeez, so I was like, listen, I'm sorry, I'm actually a mechanic. I look like that guy.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
I look like that guy, and it's like, no, you are. People taking pictures, like, no, you are that guy that lost the Olympics for South Africa, right? You're the guy that lost the Olympics. She's looking for action. So I was like, listen, I'm so sorry. My name's actually Brad. I don't even know what people are doing. Like, no, you're that guy that let everyone down, right? She keeps saying that. I'm like, we're at a party. Like anyway, I left it, but I'll never forget that. That, like, as much as I pretended it didn't hurt me, like, that actually hurt me. Even though it was one person, I was like, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, you've done like you've done all of this leading to the point of that recognition, and then the point of recognition is negative.
It's exactly what you spoke about earlier. Like the simple thing. It's like, it's crazy. People are, again, they want to see a hero. You know, and then when you fall, it's what it is, right? Yeah. They don't really care about the human being.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be a fall.
It wasn't really a fault to me. Looking back, I was grateful for those 2 silvers.
Exactly, bro. And everyone else,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
People have strange perspective. Do you put like procedures and routines and like certain like things in place leading up to climbing on the block to kind of buzz all that out? Because like when the Olympics are put on TV. It's always like, Chadwick Clos, swimming for South Africa, and then you come out with like the goggles, and it looks super badass. You come out with the goggles and the headphones on, da-da-da-da-da-da. So what's your walkout song?
Our walkout song, well, this year was Coming Home. I'm coming home.
Oh, that's so sick!
Because it was supposed to be the, I'm back where I belong, that song. Yes! But I never won this time, so I gotta find a new one. But no, in 2012, I had a really cool song that my friend made a mix for me. It was like a mix with like some movies and stuff.
No way.
And it was like, what's that? Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith.
Yes. Don't let anyone ever tell you can't do something.
That's the one. And I hear that part as I'm walking out.
No.
I'm just like this, dude. I'm just like, and then it drops a beat, deet, 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 whatever it was.
That's so sick.
And he's like he was a DJ back in the day, and I just I'm like, I'm ready for this shit. You know what I mean?
That's
So I've always
badass.
found a different little tune to walk out to.
Yeah.
But
And in that room or whatever it is,
call room,
behind-
yeah, behind the scenes, yeah.
What's that like? Because that must just be like vibrating.
It's very tense,
with-
yeah. It's a very, you know what, it's depends, but it's a very, so how it works is you go through like a procedure, so you're supposed to be there 20 minutes before. I'm never there 20 minutes before. But they check your goggles, your
Okay.
cap, your costume, if it's all legal and stuff, you know, you got nothing in there, whatever. I don't know what they're looking for. But
I was
whatever.
about to say. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not as, anyway. So they check that, then you go to another call room where they check if it's like, you can't have too much branding and all the logos on the hats and everything's
Jeez,
fine.
like, okay.
And then you go to the last room. So it's either 2 or 3 call rooms, and then it's just before you walk out. So if the stage is there, right, and you walk out, there's just 8 chairs, basically, and there's 8 swimmers. We're all sitting in our lanes, and it's just like, there's a couple mirrors, and there's like 3, 4 people standing. There's like some waters, or there's some cokes. It's like a fridge of whatever you need. No one's usually talking. I mean, I got my earphones, and I'm kind of staying in my zone. Just try. It's usually pretty quiet, pretty tense. It's a TV on there, so if it's you're watching the race before, and it's like you're walking out in 5 minutes, and it's like then you stand up, and there's a curtain. It's just you walk out, and there's a guy that says lane 8, lane 1, lane 2. So it's like. So it's different at each meet, because sometimes the crowd is really big and sometimes the crowd's right above you, so you feel the crowd. It's actually fantastic.
Yeah.
Budapest, London, you feel the crowd's energy. Tokyo last year, unfortunately, was no one there, so it was very...
That must have been strange, swimming with no
horrible.
one cheering.
It's horrible.
Because it is a part of the sport.
It was horrible. You see, swimming's not like... I understand it's not every weekend you get to see that, but like Olympics, World Championships, Commonwealth Games, that's... Like Commonwealth was like 12,000 people now. Mad. Walking out there, I hear it through my earphones. Stadium shaking. Now in England, Like, Tokyo was like walking out. It was like, there was more atmosphere today in training than there was at the Olympics. And we raced at 10 a.m. because the Americans wanted it to be American time. So it's like, imagine waking up, you have to wake up like 5 a.m. Get ready, have breakfast.
Oh,
Imagine playing the Rugby World Cup at like 9 a.m.
It's not gonna
10 a.m.
happen.
It's just like, you get in there, have the coffee, you just like, it's...
waking up and get hit.
It was a sleepy vibe as it was, but like, it was a terrible atmosphere.
Yeah.
So...
And what's the training? Because you mentioned it is 6 weeks, so I'm trying to like go from, I'm picturing you jumping off the block, and then I'm going and I'm watching everything in reverse, and I'm going, okay, in the room, the headspace, the energy, the people, leading up to that, you get put through a camp, right? The same as like a fighter gets put through a fighting camp.
Yes.
How is that camp different from the training that you do throughout the year?
So at the moment, we don't have a major coming up in 6 weeks. We have it's a World Cup event, which is the one that I've won 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. So this time it's only 3 legs. Usually it's 6, 7 legs. And it's like a point, and then the winner wins the trophy and wins the check. So
3?
So it's just 3 legs. So it's just three days. So it's 9 days of racing. So it's 3 days in Germany,
like,
3 days
okay.
in it's Canada first, and then America last leg. So it's the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Next week in Canada, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then America.
Aren't you jet lagged?
Yeah, it'll be quite jet laggy, I think, but same for you, same for me. So that's what it is.
True.
Yeah, so that will be a big stepping stone to the World Champs, which is in Australia on the 13th of December. That's going to be huge for me because I also have, obviously, long course swimming, 50-meter pool. So it's like Olympics. And then you have 25-meter pool, which is like the Virgin Actives, the gyms that we mainly have in South Africa. So I need like 5 medals more individually, and I'll become the greatest short course swimmer of all in history. So Phelps is the greatest long course swimmer. You know what I mean? So Phelps is the GOAT, right? Yeah. Because when you talk about swimming, you talk about Olympic swimming, long course swimming. He's absolutely
number one.
Fair play is number one, right? But short course swimming, I think it's like 3 golds or 2 golds, and then 2 or 3 other bronzes, and I become the greatest ever because it's always dependent on world champs, which is every 2 years.
I see.
So I've got 17 or 18 medals, 10 golds, and this other guy Ryan Lochte, who's actually the second.
Oh, Ryan Lochte had the TV show.
That guy. What would Ryan Lochte do? Yeah, there we go. So he's the short course goat. Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we can pass that in the next 2 to 4 years.
He's not swimming anymore, right?
He's not swimming anymore.
Okay,
and I'm quite far ahead of the guy that's third.
Okay.
Individually, I'm not talking relays. Obviously, relays.
So is your preferred short course 25?
I'm better short course. I have 10 world titles short course, and I have 4 or 5 long course.
What is it about short course that you prefer?
Just the turns and stuff. I mean, from South Africa, we don't have many long course pools. So I generally train short course. So unfortunately, it's definitely a different sport, you know?
Yeah.
It's different, you know? Like for a time, I was undefeated. I think it was like for 5 years in the 50 fly. I won like 46 consecutive international races in the 50 fly short course. So it's just 2 lengths of the pool.
Jeez,
Long course, I've never come close to winning, even making a final long course at the 50 fly, because it's just 1 length.
Really?
So it's 2 lengths because it's got the turn. So it's the same distance. So you're swimming 50 meters, 50
But
meters.
the short course is a lot more technical in terms of a 50
I'll
meter.
beat the world record. I'll beat the world champion long course. The world record holder currently, maybe not right now, but like back 5 years ago, I'd beat him badly. But he would beat me badly long course. So he'd beat me by like 1.5 meters long course, and I'd beat him by 1.5 meters short course, which doesn't make any logical sense. I can't really explain it. My turns are good. My underwaters are good. That's pretty much
there
it.
we go.
That's it.
That underwater flow is on point when you do it.
That's it.
So the 6-week camp?
So this is just I've started with a new coach now, German-based club in Frankfurt. I'm very, very excited. It's going to be also part of the football team. So going to watch some Champions League, hopefully in a couple of weeks. I'm very, very excited.
Cool.
So kind of so after 2016, I moved from a childhood coach to Energy Standard, which is like a European-based club where I had like a unbelievable experience with them. And obviously COVID hits. Long story short, everything kind of just, unfortunately, no more club, everyone split up. So the last year and a half, pretty much 2 years actually, we were just like gypsies, with all due respects. Jumping from pool to pool. There was no consistency at all, zero. I was swimming in Germany this week, Dubai, Cape Town, Durban, Virgin Active today, Stellenbosch tomorrow. It's just no consistency. I actually wasn't a professional the last 2 years. Actually, I wasn't. Everything I was doing was not professional, honestly. Not by choice, just because I didn't have
You just had to do what
I had, right? So unfortunately, results weren't great, and it is what it is. Now I've moved to this, Dirk Langer, he coached actually Cameron van der Berg to gold in 2012. So he was the head coach for South Africa 15 years ago, before my old coach's head coach.
Okay.
So he lived in South Africa and Pretoria for a long time, and obviously I've known him for a long time, and he's got this great club in Germany. So I'm going to shoot out there as soon as I can. So I've just started with this program actually this week, because obviously I also had surgery with my sinuses and my nose, fixed the septum, so I was out for like a month now.
Jesus.
So I'm a little out of shape. I think you can take me this time.
I love you, like out of shape. No. Jeez, I could never take you. I'm so heavy. I sink like a rock now. But I'm keen to do some lengths.
Yeah.
If you're tired of wearing like really crappy, make your fingers go green jewelry, head over to Clocks and Colors for something unique and special. Clocks and Colors are based out of Toronto, Canada. They specialize in detailed, handmade 925 sterling silver accessories. They also offer other products, like handmade leather hats and homeware goods. Go to the link below to claim your discount with Clocks and Colors. If you're looking for some high-end quality tees, some quality clothing, use code STORYTIME below to claim yours with Saints and Sinners. We want to thank Saints and Sinners for this one. Great apparel. Kitted us out. Go get yourself kitted out too. So Monday morning, Chad wakes up. What's the go for
At the moment,
like
we're still
prepping for a race?
We're a little late this time, so we're jumping at 9 o'clock these
Okay.
days, 9 and 4:30. So we're doing, waking up 8 o'clock or 7:45, just because it's South Africa. I like to just have a bit of a slower start, because we still haven't started our extreme camps, so it's still technically on holiday. I think we start in Germany at 7 a.m. We kick off 7 to 9, and then 3 to 5, something like that, with gym in between. But at the moment, we're swimming 10 sessions. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday doubles. So 2 sessions of swimming, roughly 2 hours, and then we're gymming 3 times a week for like an hour and 15-ish. And we start that in on like a Monday. So Monday I have a triple session, which is quite long.
Because you'd have swim, gym, swim.
Swim, gym, swim, which is quite a long day. And then Wednesday's just gym and swim. And then Saturday is a single, because it's swim and gym,
And the whole team's in on this.
Well, no, I don't have a team at the moment. I'm kind of by myself.
But once you get to Frankfurt?
Once you're in Frankfurt, we got a big team, big
Okay.
squad. We have proper setup, gym program. Like everything's going to be proper when I get there.
And is there like a hidden competitiveness? Because like for me, I tell Jess all the time, I'm swimming at Virgin Active. So I swim like once, maybe twice a week, just because I thoroughly enjoy it.
Sure.
And it's great cardio away from weightlifting.
Absolutely.
And it's something that's got longevity, right?
Yeah.
if there's someone swimming next to me, you could
Trying to
be a
beat them.
million times better. I have to get to that wall first. Is there that vibe, or is there
Definitely.
you've been doing it for so long that everyone's like doing their thing?
No, you see, so when we're swimming, we know what we got to do. So for example, Monday morning's aerobic, so it's 60%. So like, I've been told by my sports psychologist that I need to stop what you're doing, because I'm a very competitive person.
Really?
Yeah, so I have to stop that, because you see, the problem is with me, I'm 30 now, right? So I have to understand that I don't recover like I do when I'm 20. So I have to be smart about it. He talks about it often. He says, you can't take everything so personal in training and try and like rip these guys' heads off every day, like, because these young kids. Because like at the end of the day, they're gonna go and they're gonna press me, and like I'm a proud guy, I can't, like, especially people watching me. I don't want to, like, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But it's Monday morning. It's just getting the week done. Monday night, it's a different story.
Okay.
We knock them at the park Monday night. Yeah. No, then it's gloves are off, right? You know what I mean? We show. But Monday morning, I've got to be a little more. You get me. It's aerobic at 60%. Don't go over 60. Otherwise, we're gonna struggle in the evening, because I'm 30 now, so I gotta be careful with my recovery. But yeah, so that's.
When did you start bringing a sports psychologist in?
I started when I joined the team, Energy Standard. So I never really wanted to speak to anybody, because I was always like, I'm South African, I'm a tough boy, I don't want to.
Exactly.
But you know what? It was the best decision I ever made.
Really?
Yeah, he saved me. Like last year, I was bad place.
Because of COVID and the whole thing.
Yeah, I had a couple of things that happened, and a couple of things didn't go my way, and I was depressed. Let's call it. I was quite depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a really bad place. I actually hated waking up. I was in a
Really?
unfortunately, look, not to get too deep here, but I was in a
deep.
shocking place. I was in a really, really bad place. Yeah, and I was right after the Olympics. I had a little incident that happened in January of last year. Really traumatic experience, which I don't really want to talk about, but
Don't have to.
changed my life. Let's call it. Changed my life. Spilled over to my family. Not really spilled over, but they knew what was up, and was battling for a while, and I didn't chat to my psychologist at the time, because I didn't feel I needed to. I had the Olympics, and I didn't want to like mess with everything that was going on, and then the Olympics happened, and obviously it wasn't what I wanted, but I started speaking afterwards, and it took me a while to get out of the hole that I was in. I realized I was in a deep hole. I realized too late. I was like, okay, this is actually not great. So,
because that's a long time to be on a world stage at a competitive level without someone to speak to.
No, it was stupid. It was the one time I listened to my dad. It's the one time. I'm an idiot. No, if I listen to him, I think hindsight's a beautiful thing. But like, I think bronze. I hate to talk like that, but bronze for sure last year at the Olympics. Wasn't my head wasn't right at the Olympics. It wasn't that it wasn't right. I was just emotionally. I was
Just
dead.
not there.
I was dead. I walked
Which
out. I had
is
no
also
emotion.
fine,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, to be on all the time.
No. But
is
this was
impossible.
because of what happened. This wasn't an off day. This was an off 7 months. I was off for 7 months.
a long time,
I was off for a long time. Couldn't quite shake it. I went to the Worlds, and I picked up a couple medals at the Worlds, and then came right, I'd say, this year, January, February. I started to like feel like myself again. Started to like pull myself out of the hole, and I was like, it feels good to like kind of appreciate things again, and like kind of, be able to like, have some emotion back. Let's call it.
Yeah.
So happy.
Oh, because dude, when you walked in here, you've got a great energy.
No, thank you.
Really,
Appreciate
you're
that.
really positive.
So you, man.
The whole room lifted when you walked in, which is
No,
really
that's
cool.
cool.
That's
Thank
really
you.
sick.
Appreciate it.
Away from swimming, before we wrap up, what are your interests away from swimming? I'm sure there's tons of other things you into.
No, for
that,
sure,
like,
for sure. I think,
yeah.
look, it's obviously the schedule's crazy, So when I'm overseas, it's very hard. But like one thing I do, I game a lot, So I always bring my PS5 with me. Got a new monitor which attaches to my PlayStation, so I'm loving that.
No ways.
But like when I was in Durban, a bit of surfing is always cool. Cape Town, I was scared of the sharks, But surfing was always up there. But like the problem is I can't do too much sport. So I'd love to play soccer. I was actually talking with a mate the other day. I can't wait to play some touch rugby, some soccer.
So much
Once
fun.
I'm done with swimming, I can't wait to do that. Once I'm, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Love all that stuff. But yeah, like hanging out with the boys. I'm big passion for poker.
Really?
Yeah, I play a lot of poker. Yeah,
You got a poker face, the whole vibe. Are you the glasses and hood, or are you the like cheery guy?
I'm a bit of both. Depends on who I'm playing with.
Okay.
No hood, no glasses. But yeah,
Okay.
I can be stoic at a table if I need to be.
Just I could never do it.
Yeah.
Could never do it.
No, I love poker. Poker's a passion of mine. I literally watch poker all day.
And you wanting to like do it competitively? being the person
Yeah, I
you
was
are?
playing a little bit. Like I was playing a couple games in Durban, and I was playing like, a couple house games, and it was good. It was good. It's, upping the stakes a bit now, so it's nice. Yeah. I mean, listen, I know it doesn't sound like it, but I'm not a gambler because I don't play blackjack. I don't play roulette. I'm not a gambler.
You like the sport?
I like it. It's a competitive vibe for me because
Yeah.
it's something that I can do outside of swimming where I can compete with people of all ages, all genders. It doesn't, there's no, you know what I'm trying to say.
And it's not physically draining. It's more mentally draining as well.
Exactly. So yeah, playing a lot of poker, but like I just like hanging with the boys and just being a normal boy.
That's sick, man.
When I'm in town, I like to head out for sure on the weekends. But obviously, I gotta,
stick within.
Gotta be careful with that. Like I've had a good month now where I've partied quite a bit. I'll be honest. I've had a good time, but now I've got to take it back a bit and
We literally said exactly the same thing. So I'm sober 3 days now. 4 days.
There we go.
Since the 7th. Thank you. We're doing sober October till November.
4 days, yeah.
Yeah, 4 days. Woo! Yeah. We've done like 3-4 month periods of no drinking that are actually so lekker.
Really, yeah?
Damn, you feel so good.
That's good.
Energetic all the time, sleep like a baby all the time. But sevens was a
was
jaw.
fun, yeah.
Sevens was a
Sevens
jaw.
was fun, yeah.
And there's no ways I was going to go to sevens and not drink, so we had to go hard. But
no, for sure.
Yeah, we went a little bit of sevens. Was a lot of fun. But that's lekker, man. Thank you for coming in and having a chat. It's always such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, man.
We're going to let you run off to your dinner.
No, it's always a pleasure. Thank you, brother. Always good to see you again, eh?
Yeah, you too, man.
We're going to hold you to that swim, eh, guys?
We're going to do it. We're going to swim
vlog
together.
That swim, guys. We're going to put it up.
We're going to make him do 4 lengths and me do 2. So that when he comes back for the 3rd, I can come back on my log. You see what you see?
Definitely.
Yeah, it'll just be me crying at the end of the pool.
Every day, so you just gotta
Dude, I lost once when I cried. I lost once as a kid and I cried, and my goggles filled up with water. And when I got to the end, not bullshitting, and I took my goggles off, water fell out. And my mom was like, "Oh, your goggles were leaking." I was like, "No, I cried."
No, I was crying.
The whole last lap, I cried to the end. I was so angry with myself, dude. It was such a shit show. But yeah, thank you for coming in.
Thank you,
I
my brother.
appreciate your time.
Appreciate that. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Sweet!
I have a question. What games do you play, bro?
Me? Well, PlayStation. Dude, I was a FIFA boy my whole life until COVID, and then I got into like Red Dead, GTA. Red Dead's my favorite game of all time.
Really?
Is that the cowboy one?
Cowboy, dude, I lose my mind in that
That's
game.
so sick.
I got The Last of Us remastered like a couple days ago. PlayStation also sent me a lot of games,
Oh,
I got
That's sick.
So they, when the PlayStation before it came out, they actually sent me a PS5, and then I was like, dude, like any chance to get one for my brother, I'll buy one. So like, I'll tell you what, if you buy one for your brother, we'll send you one. And then, but I have 3, so I have a problem. I bought another one for travel, so I've got 3 PS5s. It's a bit of a problem. Dude. I buy TVs, dude. I have like 5 TVs in my 3-bedroom, dude. I have 2 TVs next to each other in my room. Yeah.
So you don't have to move
What,
them around.
like 4 games?
No, so I have 2 60 inches in my room. So I have one, but like really close to. So I have a huge open, like the room's from here to here, right? And there's the one TV for like the surround sound and the PlayStation, and then like right there is my other TV. Because it's on the bed, so I don't want to like have to like.
You don't have
So it's
to
in the
move.
wall. Yeah, I don't have to like, you know what I mean. So.